Welcome to day 3 of the letter Q. Today we're going to start adding that shadow depth and dimension, and we're just going to be doing it with our pencil. This is probably the easiest way because you can go through and modify if you add a little bit too much shadow or not enough, and so you have the ability of using either your lead or your eraser to make sure that you figure out exactly where the shadow should be. We are going to imagine that there's a little tiny baby happy sunshine over here, and he or she is going to be shining down on our piece. That means that if this is folded, you will have the light shining on one side and then darkness on the other. And as it moves around, where the light is becoming less and less, you will then have the light on the inside and not on the outside. So let's look for areas where there is going to be no light shining. So areas where it will be completely opposite from our sunshine. It would be shining on this side and completely dark on the other. Just draw a little bit of darkness on the side away from the sunshine. Go and do that for all of your lines, looking for areas where there would be light shining and the areas that would be hidden. So here we'd have light here. We would not have light on this side. And these are just our initial darkenings, I'm not asking you to have it finalized yet. So looking here, we would have light shining here and no light underneath. And then here, the light would be shining here, but not on this portion. So now we want to help to blend this out a little bit. You're going to take the edges of your shadow and lighten them up just a touch, coloring with less and less pressure as you move away from that center point. Now this one, you'll do the same thing, lightening up as you come around and up to get sort of a gradient. Now, I would suggest looking for areas where that gradient is going to flip, and you'll see that starting to happen. So here it's dark, here the gradient is lightening up, and then here, the shadow actually flips to the other side. You wouldn't ever have the sun shining on both sides. It's always going to make that transition from giving its light from one side to the next. So here we have it on top, and then here, as this curves around, the sun starts to shine on that inner portion, which means that it's not shining underneath here. Let's color that all the way around. And under that part, even more, we want to darken it up because we've created an overlap where this section of the letter is coming on top of this section down below, which means that it's not only getting the original shadow from not having the sun, but it's also getting a little bit more of a shadow from being underneath this top portion. So let's darken that up, and then again, a little bit under here. And now we have that same issue where this is on top. So darken up that area right below. Looking at this transition here, we go from dark underneath the tip of the Q to it being light on this top portion here. Light on this top portion here, and as we work our way underneath, we're going to have that transition point where it goes from having lightness to no lightness. So you'll start to see throughout your letter that you have one area where it's light, which means the other side is going to be dark, and transition points will happen right around the same area. So make sure that you never have both sides dark or you never have both sides light. It should either be one's light, one is dark, or they're both in transition. Once you have added in those shadows, you can go through and deepen up your original areas to give even more dimension to your piece. Getting your colors and your lines nice and crisp is what is going to make this technique pop. We've now created a very dimensional, exaggerated caricature Q, but it's a really fun way to add even more dimension to your letters. And I wanted to show you that it's perfectly feasible to do even on a curved letter. We really did one of the most curved letters possible. I don't know why I chose that one. But now hopefully you feel empowered to be able to do it yourself.